So some of the events that have happened or engagements since the last update. On January 16th, we had two members of Parliament visit Six Nations, Pam Danoff from Oakville and Mark Miller, who is from Quebec. And people will remember that Mark Miller is the one that spoke in Mohawk in the House of Commons. And he was here to visit our community and also to visit with Brian Miller and his daughter Zoe, who are the ones that taught him to speak Mohawk. On the 17th of January, I attended a working group meeting of the Basic Income with Ontario Work staff. And also I met with an official from Toronto City Hall, as Six Nations is going to be involved in the Aboriginal Affairs Committee in that city. Also, there are going to be changes to the Corrections Act legislation, and we had officials from the Ministry of Community Safety and Corrections here in our community to talk about those proposed changes with myself and the staff. APTN is going to also be hosting live from Toronto during the Aboriginal Day festivities. That's going to be on June 23rd in Toronto at Fort York, and they want us involved in that, so they came to meet with us on that. The Royal Ontario Municipalities Association Conference was held in Toronto from January 21st to 23rd, and Councillors Charlie Wayne Martin and Helen Miller attended that. I also attended a meeting along with staff with the Secretary to the Ontario Cabinet, and we were discussing a pilot project about possibly testing an autonomous or electric bus here at Six Nations. So we've got a working group in place, and it's looking at maybe doing loops here in the village. So that's going to be an exciting project. I also attended a regular Cabinet Committee on Poverty Reduction and Social Inclusion. That's a committee I sit on behalf of the Chiefs of Ontario. Laurie Davis-Hill, the Director of Health Services, and myself also met with an official from West Haldimand General Hospital. We're working with them on trying to make that hospital more receptive to our community, so if anybody has input, please let us know. I also attended the emergency leadership meeting on child welfare that was held in Ottawa on January 25th and 26th. And happy to announce that Ogwadeni Dow, our child welfare, received official designation effective January 29th. Also on January 29th, we had students from the University of Guelph visiting our community. They were here for the whole day, and that was under the leadership of their professor, who is Sherry Longboat, who is also from Six Nations. On the 30th, there was the celebration of opening of the new classroom at the Youth Lodge, and on the 31st, I attended the Canadian Council on Aboriginal Business Gala, which was held in Toronto. That same evening, the Six Nations Police honored two new police officers with a badge ceremony. And on February 2nd, I was asked to bring greetings in Brantford at the Wilfrid Laurier Stedman Prize Awards for secondary students and writing. Glad to say there were two students from Six Nations nominated, Destiny Van Ivry and Darian Martin, and congrats to both of them and to Darian, who was one of the runner-ups. On the 3rd of February, I also attended the Muslim Association of Brantford's Appreciation Award ceremony, and they presented an award to Woodland Cultural Centre as a community partner. And again, we had Minister Jane Philpott visiting Six Nations on Monday. She was also at the STEAM Academy in Brantford, the Six Nations Polytechnic campus, and announced that they were providing funding for tuition there for the Indigenous students. And on February 6th, I was asked to make a presentation to the Standing Committee on Aboriginal Affairs about fire and emergency services. This was held in Ottawa, but I did the presentation by video conference, and our fire chief happened to be in Ottawa, so he was present there physically to answer questions. And on February 7th, I attended the Brantford Sports Council's annual awards banquet in Toronto.